This is another stuff I own, and my favorite James Bond, which is Roger Moore. And I would say he's probably my favorite because he's the James Bond I grew up with. This is from Live and Let Die, which came out in 1973 and was Roger Moore's first movie. This is another Big Chief Studio figure. I would not say that Live and Let Die is one of my favorite James Bond movies. It's kind of grown on me somewhat, and it does have some good features to it, but it has some issues also. I would say that one of the strengths of it is the cast. I kind of have a soft spot for James Bond movies with a large and interesting cast of villains. One of the ones that jumps to my mind is GoldenEye, which had Alec Trevelyan, Xenia Onatopp, Boris Grishenko, and General Oromov. In this film, we have Mr. Big slash Kananga, Tee Whisper, and Jeffrey Holder as Baron Samedi, and Solitaire, who Solitaire is not actually a villain, but she does work with the villain. And they're all great. Baron Samedi is a weird character, and that is, I think, although he's a great character, it is one of the issues with this Bond film in that there's magic in it, which seems very un-Bond-like. It's not overt, but it's kind of like, can Solitaire actually predict the future? Because she seems to be able to, and Baron Samedi appears to be possibly magical. Now, I think on the downside of this movie, first of all, the theme song by Paul McCartney, "Live and Let Die," it's an endearing song. I was never that big a fan of it. It's definitely in my bottom half of the James Bond theme songs. Um, it's a darker, grittier film, and I like more of James Bond's, Roger Moore's later films, which were a bit more lighthearted or fun. Um, the other issue, I think, there's only one James Bond movie that I absolutely just don't watch, which is License to Kill. I hate that movie. The only James Bond I really do not like. And that has something in common with this movie in that both of the main villains are just glorified drug dealers. And so that to me seems very unbond like. So overall, it's a watchable movie, but I would prefer watching most of the other Roger Moore movies. So it's a really good likeness of Roger Moore. I think it's absolutely fantastic. Even got his little mole there on the side of his nose. So we'll get in close. Really nice. This is his, it's called they call it a tactile neck or tactical turtleneck, which was shown later in the film. And it's pretty cool. I like this outfit. So he's got the watch there that he used to escape with like a little buzzsaw. He's got his ridiculously oversized gun and the holster. It's a pretty neat figure. Now there are some things I don't like about this figure. For one, let me show you. Again, a high-end figure should not be able to do that. Both the feet will twist around 360. That's pretty weak that it can do that. I noticed that early on, and I was like, really? You're going to have the ankles just a 360-degree turn? This is kind of one of the things about these high-end figures. I expect that the elbow, these joints are stiff. I think I remember that this figure is like really stiff. The joints, the elbows should not bend like 90 degrees backwards, but I don't think this figure does. I think it's not that bad, but those ankles are pretty bad. But it looks great on a shelf. I actually have a second Roger Moore Live and Let Die figure, but it is unlicensed. And actually, between the two, they're pretty close. The other one was, I don't even remember the name of the company. It never says James Bond. It never says Roger Moore on the packaging. I'm going to show it another time, but it's clearly Roger Moore. It's the same turtleneck, the black turtleneck. So they did a great job. It's just unlicensed, and I would kind of prefer to get licensed figures. There is a Pierce Brosnan figure, but again, it is unlicensed. I've never bought it, so I don't have like the only ones I have is I have two Sean Connerys and one Roger Moore. But it's interesting in that the facial sculpts on this one and my other Roger Moore from Live and Let Die by that other company, they actually look quite a bit different, despite the fact it's the same actor from the same movie, and they both look great, but they look very different. So it's going to be interesting to compare them. But I do like this figure, and I would love to get more Roger Moores, but like I've said before, Big Chief Studios does not exist anymore, so no more James Bond from them. So that is Roger Moore from Live and Let Die.